All right, concluding Tangle on the trail here, we have Tupelo boys, Coach Norwood. They just defeated Saltillo in the nightcap game. Coach, if you don't care, introduce your players for us, please.
Okay, to my near right here, I got Fabian Perry, and on the end down there, I got Braxton Bishop. Fabian is a senior, Braxton is a ninth grader. Just big parts of our team.
All right, Coach. You know, from what I could tell, the first half of the game was just up until the third quarter. It's kind of back and forth. It was there. And then in the third quarter, you hit a spurt on them. Can you tell me what you maybe told your guys to light a fire so they hit the spurt?
Well, I told them that it really wasn't about the X's and the O's no more. It was just about who wanted it the most. And we actually hit a little bit of a spurt in the third quarter. Then we got the technical foul, and they shot about 10 free throws, seemed like. And next thing I know, we were down. So we were kind of on our way a little bit earlier, and we ended up having to try to regain it. But we changed defenses, and we just tried to confuse them. And the guys are playing together really well. And what we're working for is just trying to get more communication, and hopefully this team can continue to grow. I think we could be a viable contender if we can just continue to grow. We're not there, and we're way off, but I think we can.
What do you think facilitated kind of the attack mode in the third quarter in particular? I think I had 14 points in the paint, a lot of good drives to the basket by Braxton and some of the other guys.
Well, I don't know exactly what it was, but I hope it was that when we called timeout or they called timeout, my job was just to urge them on. We done practice. We know our plays. We know what we're supposed to be doing. So now it's just time to do it. And I watch a lot on NBA TV and the college coaches. They do some X's and O's, but when they get right down to it, they just try to urge their players on to play. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Our practices are getting better, and we're working at being more attentive in practice so we can get to that place where you don't hear the crowd. All you hear is your teammates, the referees, and the coaches. There's a place you can go, and that's what happens. And we're getting closer to being able to find it more often, and that's pleasing to see.
How many starts is this now for Braxton at that point?
I don't know, but it ain't the last one.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I know it's been 3 or 4. Okay. I'm not sure. I think it's been 4.
Okay. I was just going to ask, kind of, how does he kind of really facilitate things? I mean, he can score, I know, but just his ball handling and kind of get the defense drawn to him.
Well, what I think his strong suit is he's a basketball player. He can do a little bit of everything. When you watch him in practice, sometimes it don't look as skilled or as neat as it could, but when the game comes, he handles the ball. His natural personality and demeanor is to be a little bit laid back, and it helps when you get in a situation where the game is tight and the calls are bad and the fans are all over you, and you're trying to figure it out. It helps to be a person that's kind of laid back anyway. I urge him on a lot in practice to, hey man, pick it up, because you got to be able to change gears. But I think just who he is naturally and his love for the game, you can see it when he plays.
Braxton, I want to ask you, what's kind of helped you fit into that role now as a starter at that point guard?
I just try to come in and do what I can to help the team win.
I see him a lot of times. He's looking to me for instructions, and that's what I want, because he is an extension of me out there on the court. So, sometimes I ignore him because I know he needs to figure some of the stuff out on his own. But he looks for me for instructions, and if I can tell him what to do and he can tell the team what to do, then that just makes it work the way it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be kind of jointed. Really and truly, he and I are supposed to be closer than me and my assistant, because he is my assistant out there on the floor.
Yeah. Fabian, going back to kind of the talking about kind of attacking in the paint and really kind of winning the post game against them. What do you think kind of sparked that in the second half?
First, it started off with defense, putting enough pressure on them. It opened up turnovers and open opportunities on offense. And our big man Josh, Anthony Nichols, they were working down there, and we were able to get them the ball so they can put the ball in the goal.
Now, Coach, this has been one of your youngest teams since you've been at Tupelo. How have you changed as a coach?
You know, I probably about a month ago, I asked them to be patient with me while I'll be patient with them. You know, because it takes a great deal of patience. There's some immaturity. There's some inexperience. You know, but we're not really as young as we are inexperienced. And you know, most of the guys on my team are a little bit behind skill-wise where they should be, IQ-wise where they should be, but they all have the ability, and we don't have no scary cats in Tupelo. You know, they're not afraid of anybody. It's just keeping their attention enough to make sure we got the same plan and that we're in attack mode at the same time. So I guess to answer your question is just being even more patient and asking them for patience. Because sometimes I get enough for watching them goof off when I'm trying to get something across. But so I asked them to be patient with me while I'm trying to figure out how the best way to get them where they need to be, play their best.
Now, Braxton, last year you playing in the 8th grade setting. Speed is a lot different in high school. But what changes did you have to make to your game in order to hold up in the varsity level?
I had to grow up a lot faster than, most average people that, don't play. But on the basketball side, I had to learn how to play because it was a lot of plays to learn, a little bit. Learn how to be more physical than I was and more mentally too.
The one thing that I've asked him to do more of is play lower. You know, sometimes when a guy's under 6 feet, they think, well, if I play lower, then I'm shorter. But in order to play in a high-level game against high-level athletes, you got to be able to have good balance and good strength. And when you coil up, you know, I want their feet wide, but I want their knees bent and low and playing stronger and be ready to take on the contact. He has a very good handle, so sometimes when he has contact, he can work his way around it. But you know, there's a lot of times in there you be thinking, well, they fouled me. If they don't call it, it's not a foul. So I'm trying to prepare them for that day. You know, you go to Jackson and you play against the Jackson school, some of the stuff you've been getting, you're not getting it. You know, so that's just the way it is. And I mean, it should be that way. When you go playing for the championship, it's gonna be that way. And sometimes I give up points and maybe even wins now to try to play in a way that I think will give us the best chance to win the championship. You know, and sometimes people don't understand that. Well, why you didn't do this and why you didn't just keep pushing. I'm trying to play in a manner that I think this team, if we can get there, that we have a chance to win the game. You know.
Coach, we'll finish it off right here with you. Got one more question for you. I study schedules extensively, pretty much every team throughout the state. You know, trends, stuff like that. I kind of look at your schedule and I can see in my perspective, the Starkville game, the win over Starkville at home, was kind of like a turning point or a boost in your season when things started kind of looking up and playing differently. Is that kind of what you feel, or is there a different point?
Well, it was. I mean, I think it was a boost in that it gave us confidence that if we can go and beat Starkville, then we probably could beat anybody, all right, on a given night, all right? But at the same time, like when you have inexperience and you have youth, when they go up, it's not going to be very long before they go down. All right, and that's kind of what happened when we went to Starkville and played an A tournament down there. It was Christmas break, and focus and concentration on what we trying to do and who we want to be every night out kind of got lost in the shuffle. All right, so but the win was still big because we saw Starkville beat Center Hill, who beat us to sleep twice, you know, and I felt like it would go that way, but I also feel like we can compete with anybody in Mississippi when we play right, you know, and we just got to play right. I don't think we have the athletes that we can just up and down the court all night long. I mean, my high school team was very good at pressing and running all night, and I know when we got to Jackson, it just wouldn't work the same way against those caliber players, you know. It's hard to press a good guard all night long. It really is. So we're trying to play in a manner that we can catapult on and just be better and better and better and better. And then when the time comes, maybe we'll be good enough.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.